Okay. Thank you, everyone. We will be discussing a couple of testing techniques today. Okay, and I just wanted to know that how was your last thing? Can anybody can recap what we have done? And if there is anything you guys think of any issues in your coursework? Manraj, Mandeep.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, last time I just missed the last slide you showed. But I finished my work. I don't know how, just as per my knowledge, but I didn't get it properly. The last one, something related to mortgage or that testing. Last thing.
The unit testing or functional testing, like test cycles.
Yeah, I guess your voice disconnected in between. Can you repeat the one, Raj?
I said I finished the my work, the one you gave us, but the thing is I missed the last slide you showed us regarding the testing tech. So I'm not sure about that. The rest I can understand.
Okay. So coursework, you guys able to complete?
I did as per until I think some testing. First program I did it, like until the first slide I did it, and last one I did it also, but I'm not sure it's right or wrong because I'm not sure about that. So that's why.
Okay. Can you share the screen so that others can understand at least? Is there any queries?
Sure.
Are you trying to share the screen? What is happening? Not here. Hear your case.
Yeah, I'm hearing. That's good.
One, I'm trying to. I will be there.
Okay. Okay. So okay, let us wait for you. I'm just changing my mic. It's not clear. 1 minute. Let me do that. Yes. Okay. So do you guys hear me now? Can anybody just?
Yeah, good.
Oh. Okay, fine. Whenever you have time, right? So we can have a discussion. That's okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. So we just recap. Who is sharing the screen? Manraj?
You can see?
Oh,
Yeah, it's mine.
okay, good.
See this last thing, residency and the income one, this question. RBC is leading bank in Canada. I did it, but I'm not sure about because this is the one I missed. This is from the, I think, last one, last
Okay.
slide.
So,
Yes.
what we discussed, right, is that you can just go to that video and watch it again. But basically, we need to do the border analysis where we need to provide that how we do gap analysis between these two. So it means we need to provide the various scenarios, right? So how do you categorize the various scenarios and then we can test? So border analysis is something like if it's a less than 20K, right, you cannot go for right from 1 to 20K, right? So let us take it from that to less than 20K means we need to put it for 919999 and then 20 and then 21K. So you can arrange in that way. So that is called border analysis. That means you go and check for the only between the range, not to every value. So you cannot put logically test case for everything. So that's we call it as. So anybody remember that how we did that? How can we achieve this kind of border analysis from our last video? Do we need to play that something? You guys understand that?
I sorry to interrupt you. Hello.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, I have some questions. Every week you gave me the task for the like this.
Yeah, coursework. Yes, we have the coursework. That's need to be.
I'm really sorry, I didn't get anything about this.
Oh, okay. And it will be in LMS portal. So even in my if you guys want, I'll send you the reminder for that. So LMS portal you have access, right? This week.
No, I didn't try anything before.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange, man. That's the first thing you should have get access. Okay. So because all your coursework you can.
I generally follow the mail only. Only Zoom meeting I got with the seat.
Oh, okay. Just reply to that email and ask for the LMS access. Probably you should have it. Probably they would have not communicated. So it's as part of the process, it should have been done. So
It's strange. It's strange. Okay.
okay. So get the access and you can just start on with that. And probably we can I'll share my screen. Let us get into the topic, today's topic, and then we can take it further. Sharing the screen, right, and stop. Okay. So whatever you are seeing, right? This is LMS portal this week. Okay, and you could see that every week we have a coursework. So that's
Okay.
we done. So, but this week they don't have anything. But if you look at this coursework, there could be test cases, how it is being written, everything might be there. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can write the test cases, everything. That's something we're going to cover today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so week 3, let us get into that. So you guys have a long gap, more than 2 weeks, right? So we will recap whatever we have done in meantime. So first thing we just going to talk about this one is various deliverables. Okay. So various deliverables with respect to as far as the testing team concerned. So the development team is going to deliver the code and testing team we just going to deliver something from testing aspects like a test plan and test strategy, test case document. We're going to go through those things so you will get a fair idea. Okay. Let me get that some documents. Word document, okay, it's fine. Okay. So this is the overall testing cycle. Okay. And what is this? Okay. So if you look at this one, right, all we talks about overall cycle, like we went through that development cycle, right? So software development life cycle. So SGLC life cycle, do you guys remember what we have discussed? Anyone?
In SDLC,
Yeah, SGLC, what are that?
it's waterfall, VMola.
Yeah. So inside the waterfall, what are that phases we have? You have a requirements gathering.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first one we gonna like get the requirement, like new.
Mm,
Then we take care of the design,
mm.
and then then we build the software.
Development. Yeah.
Development. Then our QA test that software. Then there's a team called maintenance team.
Perfect. Yeah. And delivery. That's it, right? So there is a phase where this phase going to align, right? That's the first question we can ask ourselves. Okay, we have a SGLC life cycle that's going to be a overall life cycle of the project, right? How this is going to picture? This is something related to test phase, okay? But as we know from our phases perspective, the previous discussion, right? We know that this is going to be an phase which as a tester team going to follow, and we might involve in multiple phases also, right? Take an example, requirements gathering phase, right? But initially testers never get involved, but now testers get involved over there itself, not in the testing phase alone. The reason is testers need to know that requirements and gaps and understanding their involvement will start from that over there itself. Does it make sense?
Can you repeat? I couldn't get that.
No, what I'm saying is, what are the things we discussed, right? In the SGLC, we discussed about multiple strategy, right? Process. In that process, initially all we discuss is testers will be part of the testing phase alone. But later in the Scrum model, we see that testers get involved right from the requirement phase, and they will be getting involved in each and every activity of this phase. Let me share the previous one just to recap some of the things you guys can understand. I'll take any document for that matter. If we take Scrum model now. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This is the point. So you could see that in the SDLC model, okay, in the requirements, this is a part of the Scrum team, right? The Scrum team is going to work. That means Scrum team is part of the development, test, or any leads, or the deployment team. All teams part of this integration team. So we, as a part of the tester, right, he will be get involved from the day one of the project. But initially, we never get involved. We involve towards the end. But the new model, whatever we discuss, is as a tester, we're going to get involved from the requirements phase itself. So what it means, as a tester, you're going to understand that, oh, these are the changes it's going to happen, right? And these are the requirements coming. Okay, you guys going to take design team, say that, hey, come on, I'm going to take these requirements and I need to do that requirement analysis, and then they do the design. And you will be part of the design too, right? Sometime the discussions, Scrum discussions, you will be part of it, and you can hear that what are the changes they wanted to do. So those things will be published to you. You get to know. So it's give the insight of what we're going to get as a requirement and how do we going to develop. How do they development team going to use that for the design and development? And as part of the tester, what is that thing we're going to write? That's what we're going that. As a tester, we're going to follow our own process. Okay. So this process is something like, first we need to understand test strategy. What is the strategy I'm going to do? So how many, this is going to be a generic high-level strategy, right? So what it means that, oh, this project, I'm going to use that this kind of resource. That means I need an automation resource, I may be having testing resource, I may be having any specific skill set, database, you do a lot of backend database or anything, we need that kind of resource. If you're having a mobile testing resource, then you're going to, so you're going to strategize that. Okay, this is called test strategy document. This will be available as part of the overall project. Okay, this is not only a testers or test lead going to decide, probably architects and other people will decide based on that. So we might see that what is the best practices will be followed here. Okay. So as an industry, you are talking about healthcare. Then we know that, okay, for healthcare, these are the basic industry provides strategy or practices which we need to follow for testing. That need to be included, right? These are the overall strategy and how many things we're going to automate, right? That's very important thing. Are we going to do the automation testing, or we are going to do the manual testing? So those are all things will be maintained, and everything maintained at company level. That means organization level, we're going to set this expectation. Okay. And most of the expectation will set from the organization level, right? You are not going to set everything for the project. So as an organization, you might have something already in place. Okay, these are the frameworks which we need to use for testing. You cannot really use a new framework or something. Like it includes cost, estimation, everything. So all these things will be categorized as a test strategy. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Good. If you guys want to recap something, just tell me what are the things you understand. So this is a test strategy. Okay, let me ask question later towards end, so that would be better. So this is a high level test strategy. Okay, this strategy you can always ask question. Okay, when they going to do this strategy? So before start of this project, right? You're going to stress the strategy, but you should have some insight on what are the high level business goal for this project, right? We need to understand, A, is it going to be mobile testing or browser testing? How many browsers we need to test? How many kind of system application system we need to test, like Windows or Unix? There are multiple operating systems. So do we need to test? How big this application? So we need to take this all this count and come with a strategy. Okay, so this strategy will be part of the requirements phase itself. So while doing the requirement phase, right, you're going through that, you're going to put this strategy. That's the first document we're going to produce. Okay. Any project, this is a high-level document which will be produced. But as I say, this document is not only a testing team document. Okay, though it's a test strategy, but it involves multiple people input, and then a project manager input, or it may be a test lead input and developer lead input. There are a lot of people gives us a day input. So based on that, we're going to put the strategy. Now, after test strategy, once you do right, we need to get into next stage, like a test development. So you will also think, what is test development? Okay, we have a development, but what is a test development? This is one of the process we have. Okay, for as a part of the tester, we should have this one. Okay, this will be aligned to the SDLC process. Okay, wherever SDLC process running, right? We as a testers testing, they will follow this one. Okay, but this timeline and the SDLC overall project timeline should be mapped, right? If that project is going to deliver by 2023 December, then you should not have for the okay, test strategy, I can do this timeline, and test development, I'm going to do this timeline. You will put all timelines, right? Delivery. This should match with the overall project, right? When the project starts test, right? Then SDLC model, you could see, right? That time, this also need to be aligned. Otherwise, there is no thing we can do. But the Scrum model, this will be done for the each and every Scrum, or it may be, you might be in the Scrum one, sprint one, right? You may be doing these two activity. In sprint two, you may do this test execution, defects management, everything. And then final thing you can do here. So it doesn't mean that everything need to be complete in one sprint. Okay, that cannot be possible. So writing the test plan, everything can be done as separate sprint also. You don't think that, okay, all this activity need to be completed in one sprint. It's a small requirements is fine. You can write the test cases and then you can just execute defect and delivery. That is possible. But if it's a huge requirements, then it will take some time. Yeah, good. Tisha.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
Sir, so the sprint, so test development, like we need to test, like make a test plan. Everything should be done for every sprint, right, sir? For every 2 weeks. Suppose one part of the work is done. So whenever we get a new work, so again, the test plan, everything is done for that week also, right?
Yeah, yes and no, both. Okay, it's I'll tell you the reason. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because this test plan is for high level, how we going to arrange our overall activities. Okay. This test strategy is, as we know, right? As I discussed, we're going to say that, hey, this is a strategy, or this is a mobile thing I'm going to test. This is a web browser I'm going to test. These are the various devices, right? If you take tablet itself, there are different resolutions, different sizes available. Mobile, different sizes available. Even browser also, different browser, different size. and various things are available. So these are the various things you're going to set in the test strategy. Okay. But after this test plan, there's an important category here, right? You're going to plan what you're going to do, but some projects, this test plan document, you should have only one test plan document for the project. Okay, it cannot be sprint level document. That won't make sense, right? So it's going to be a complete project test plan. But with that, one of the problem we can see, right? Requirements keep changing, right? That's one of that agile model we already discussed. So depends on that, right? This test plan document will be updated. What I said is we're going to create a test plan based on our understanding. So our understanding, as you said, hey, I know only this sprint, so I cannot go beyond that. Okay, that test plan document, we'll keep the one document and we'll go on update. Oh, for test plan, these are the resources we're going to use it for the sprint level. Okay, this first sprint we're going to use, and sprint 2 you're going to use. You can have for all the sprint also, right? Generally, you said, hey, I'm going to use 5 mobile testers, and I'm going to use you get to know that high level requirements, right? For this project, these are the high level requirement. You may not went through very detail, because sprint, each and every sprint you're going to get into detail. But initially you're going to know that, oh, this application is going to have this high level functionality. So test plan should relate to that. Okay, I'm going to finish this functionality testing everything by sprint 1, and other functionality by sprint 2, other functionality by sprint 3. So it will give complete picture to everyone. Oh, what is your goal of this project? How many things you're going to test? What is your plan? Right? That's what first question everybody going to ask. Okay, where is your test plan? Okay, test plan, many times we're going to create at the project level. Okay, it is not going to be sprint level. It will be difficult to manage. Okay, and development plan also same thing. Okay, development also we have a plan that is also done at global level. Why we need test plan? That's the first question you can ask, right? If you do it at sprint level, then you cannot give the estimation. How many resources you want? How do you give that cost estimation to the client? How much is going to incur the cost for them, right? Based on current understanding, we're going to give the estimation to the client. Okay. Sometimes client say that, hey, if you don't have visibility into the multiple sprints, then give the plan for the 5 sprint. Okay. And we'll give the plan for the 5 sprint, and the cost will keep on varying. We can set that expectation. If any requirements changes further, this plan also may change. Okay. So based on that also we do. That's what I say. That's why I say it may be true and false. Depends on the project. But the main aspects here is this plan should give you everyone. Okay. Not only inside the project, outside the project. If somebody want to go through your project, first thing, as a tester, you're going to share your test plan. Okay. That is going to be created and give the information about the overall project testing plan. Okay. So these are the things I'm going to do, and these are the resources I have. So how many resources being used for the sprint 1, how many resources used by sprint 2, what are the test strategy we have, right? And we take that input, and then we take the requirements, high level requirements, and then we give the test plan. Okay, so test plan always is mostly is going to be a project level, and sometimes we go with a sprint level. At least we never go with each and every sprint. At least we give some plan, right? Otherwise, you cannot. How it's going to be a problem, right? You think that automation testing for the mobile is going to start by sprint 4. Okay. How do you get resources? Right? Every time you cannot, in the 4th week, in the sprint starting, you cannot get automation mobile resource. So that's need to be planned well before that. So as a project manager, he may need to understand, oh, you may need a mobile developer, then he may get the resource. So it means he needs to plan and get the resource accordingly. Everything cost in play, right? Whenever you are saying the resource, that's going to be a cost to the project, right? So this overall project planning, everything will be done through this test plan from tester's perspective. So you're going to see that, hey, somebody going to give you information, hey, these are the things I need to do. The first thing they expect that, hey, how many resources I really need? What are the tools you're going to use? That they're going to get it from test strategy, right? Oh, these are the tools you're going to use. These tools are really commercial or non-commercial? Okay. So how many environment you want? How are you going to test? How are you going to perform? And do you having any other specific needs? So how many people really want? First week, how many people? Second week, like a monthly basis. Sprint one, if agile means they'll ask us, okay, sprint one, how many people you really wanted to do? So literally not testers, I would say, test leads, right? They're going to give this information. But all you wanted to know that you maybe become a test lead at some point, right? That you need to understand that this test plan is something is going to give all this information. That's an important thing for you. So that is going to done at project level mostly. Okay, so that it will give some insight. If a project spans for 3 years, you cannot really give a plan for 3 years. So what it means is, as I say, right, it's going to be might be 6-month plan. We're going to give the 6-month plan for that. We can gauge that one, and then we can release the plan. And project plan will be created based on your plan, development plan, and everything. And then we can publish to client, and we can get that cost estimation based on that. So does it give answer to that?
So Jax, how many test plan we have to make to develop the scripts?
One test plan.
Only one test plan?
Yeah. Test plan will be updated. Okay.
Okay.
So you should not create a multiple document, right? So how you can build that blueprint of the home, but are you going to create a blueprint for each and every rooms? No, right? So blueprint is going to contain one layout plan for our home, and any changes, we'll make changes in that blueprint only, right? Oh, I want to modify, you do that. So you're not going to create a multiple blueprint. Same thing here. Test plans is going to have one test plan, high level, that is going to, if some projects, we're going to have a multiple phases we used to have. So multiple development might happen. That time we have used to have a test plans for the multiple development. Those are all very complex. Don't get into that. Okay. So basic is we should always have a one test plan that is going to give a overall picture. What we do, what are the things really you have a dependency, how we going to execute. Okay. Timeline, everything will be there. That's very, very important. So what is timeline? How many people really want? That is a goal, right? So we don't bother how you do, when you do everything. So basically, as a project planning, they just want to know for this duration, how many resources you want, and if there is any specific tool you're going to use. So those are all the cost impacts, everything we derive from this plan in practical means. Okay. So, and then test scripts and test data, right? So this one is something you created. Test scripts is something you're going to write that test scripts, and we have a lot of samples. I'm going to show that. So what are the things you are talking about, right? So we're going to you want to validate that one of the input criteria, then you're going to write the test scripts. So test scripts, don't think that you're going to write a code. Now, as of now, we never went to automation, so don't worry on that. We're just going to create some Excel, and we're just going to create a test script. Okay, test script is you're just writing the information how you're going to validate the input text field. It may be alphanumeric, numeric, or it may be a empty, right? Either way, what is the actual expectation, and then what is the actual output? Okay. So expectation and actual. So that's what we used to have in that. And we need to see if both are matched, you are expecting something, and the actual output also something. Both are matched, then the test case is passed. So test script is going to give that how you're going to test the application for the one test criteria. Okay. So you're going to have a multiple test scripts which is going to be used. And test data is something you're going to provide the test data, sample data. Okay, it may be you are creating, you may need access to that any application. Then you may need to create a login, other information, right? So those are all test data which we're going to create. Okay, so test data perspective. If data is not there, you can use it, or it is already there. Somebody as a testing team, everybody share the same login, and they can use that also, right? So those are all basic test data will be created. So we talked about test strategy and test development, right? And then once you have that in place, like a test scripts and test data. So how are you going to test, and with what data are you going to test? So both are very, very important, right? Once it is done, then you can execute the test cases. That is called test execution. So we're just going to execute it in the application and see whether it's working or not. So you're going to generate a report, whether it's we're able to pass a test case or fail the test case. So if it's a failure, then you're going to create a defect. So whatever the failure you feel, right, any test case, then it is a failure report, and that is called defects in the term. So defects is we're going to put it into system. Okay, here we use Jira. So there are multiple tools being used, but mostly we use Jira. So you're going to create a defect and you're going to post into Jira and associate it with somebody else. Okay, that's something we'll do next session. Okay, so how you get access, how you're going to create a track bugs, and how it is being assigned. So either way, because after assigning the bug, right, to a development team, they fix it and again it will come back to you, right? As a tester, you are assigning something defect to them. Defects will be fixed and then again it will come back to you. So everything communicated through Jira. Okay. And once you see that issue, then you can go ahead and retest. Again, you see the issue, defects, then send back the defect to them. If it is already fixed, then close the issue. So that's where the defect management comes to that. And then complete installation and everything will be delivered to them. So this requirement verification, everything, right? There is something called requirements matrix document. Okay, I'm going to show that one. So basically, what are the requirements we got? Are we covered with all test cases or not? Okay, that's what the requirements verification. We call this a requirements matrix, cross matrix, where it will list all the requirements and then equivalent test cases. So that will give the clear picture. Oh, did we really miss any requirements? Something we can capture. Maybe one requirement might have a multiple test cases, as I said, right? So you may be associate, oh, for this requirement, I executed this many of test cases. So, and multiple requirements might be multiple test cases. Same test case would have associated with multiple requirements, also possible. So one to many. So we need to associate everything and making sure that are we covered all the requirements in our testing or not, something we're going to validate. So that is one of the deliverable to us. And mostly it is nowadays everything done through Jira and requirements matrix. But still, as part of that this strategy process, right? These are the life cycle which we try to follow. Okay. Here there is something that like UAT. Okay. So I never discussed about that, right? The previous meeting, I don't know whether I discussed. So it's a user acceptance testing. Okay. So whatever we are testing is system testing. Okay. System testing and integration testing, we call it as. Okay. There are various phases we have. So once that is done, right, we just go to the user acceptance testing. But user acceptance testing is separate phase where actual user going to test our application Okay, they might have a own phases, but as a tester, you are not going to get directly involved in that. Okay, so it's going to be done by the client side, where they will be using their own methodology to test our application and then come back to us. Okay, so how it is going to be related to the tester, right? So you did everything: test strategy, test development, test execution, defect management, everything's done. And you said, hey, it's done. Requirements verification also, you say that, okay, I covered all the requirements, you give it. So after this, it's not going to production directly. Okay, though you tested everything, but at last it will go to the UAT before production. That UAT is user acceptance testing. That's a separate environment. Development is separate environment, like application perspective, right? Everything will be deployed. And testing is a separate environment. Testing integration is an environment, and system testing is an environment, right? So after this, moving to the production, before it will go to the UAT. So actual client or user going to test your application and give the feedback. So you're going to validate the feedback as a tester, right? He say that, hey, come on, this field is not working, and he may be confused also, right? And everything come back to you. Oh, okay, we have a problem. Then you need to coordinate with the development team, and because development team not get involved here, right? So everything is went to the client, and it will come back to you, and then you need to inform development team, hey, you have a UAT issues, so you need to coordinate that. But UAT in the phase perspective, nobody from testing team is going to get involved. Though it's user acceptance testing, but it is the user perspective. User is, they mean that client, not the testers. Because whatever your role is, integration environment and system environment, okay, both will be done through here. Okay, this test execution you are doing with all this, and you're creating a defects, everything based on that. Once that is done, then UAT kickoff, and UAT user going to test this, and then he'll also has a own cycle. Okay, that's something each and every client has their own methodology, and they have various partners, right? So they can come and test our application, and that time also we'll get defects. Okay, mostly we'll get less defects because mostly you covered everything, but sometimes we'll get it from there also. Okay. There is no exception. Do you guys understand this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because this is very, very important, right? Something is going around, you need to know where I am, right? So what we do, because terms perspective, we use multiple terms. So test plan and strategy. Okay, these are all not in the contents in detail. Okay, they normally they used to rush through that. Sometimes it will more detail also, so people get confused. But whatever the case, I just try to cover that how this is being done, right? That's something. When you do something, you need to understand how normally people do. Okay, in the real time, our industry, right? So how we do, that's something you need to know. So this is a test plan and test strategy. Okay, you could see that this is test strategy perspective. Okay, understand the context. I say right. Okay, when you're getting involved and somebody says that, hey, I need a test strategy document in a week time, and we're going to start this project, and you may need to talk to people and get things started. Then you see, oh, okay, fine. What is that? What is the context they are talking about? They going to be? What are the testing thing we need to do? What are the scope of the testing? Everything you understand. Okay, you are not going. Just bear in mind, you never went through the requirements at all. Okay, because it's just we are planning. Okay, high level plan. So you never went through any big details. Okay, but they will give high level things like job description, right? Oh, I need to do this. They never give very detailed, right? Same thing, they'll give high-level information. So understand the context. Okay, we are talking about it. And organize test plan document. So the planning we're going to do. So we need to analyze the risk. Okay, what are the things we are missing? And we need to see, oh, hey, this application, you want to test in mobile? Okay, fine. I need a mobile strategy I need to provide, right? Oh, you're going to provide just on different um, sizes or devices, that I need to have a strategy. So you need to understand, oh, every project is different, right? Though we say that it's same, something in a way it's going to be different. So you need to understand those things, align yourself and put the strategy around that. So that's where we give the various steps. You understand, organize, and identify the risk, identify the treatment approach. What is that approach we're going to use? Agile or Scrum already defined. Okay, you don't need to identify that how it's going to be done. So once everything done and design the strategy. Design means creating the document either way. So this what that overall you're going to do the test strategy perspective. Planning perspective, publish the test plan. Okay, and then you draft plan, you get a test plan, you publish. Okay, test plan, we're going to give the document, but basically it's going to provide timeline and everything. Okay, in this period I'm going to do, these are the things I need to do, and you need to plan, right? Without planning, you cannot do anything. So same thing here. So we need to provide. Whom do you going to submit? Project manager. Okay, project manager need to understand. Oh, you as a testers, you are doing these other things. So you may need to align his overall project plan with that. So you're going to understand this and document the test plan and determine the staffing. As I said, right? Determine the staffing and scheduling, very, very important. So without that, you cannot arrive the cost, right? So those things we need to do. So with all this strategy, test plan strategy, you're going to create an overall strategy and planning also accomplish. So it's a different approach I given. I shared this document, but basically same thing defined in different ways, like creating a plan, strategy and scope, testing methodology, identify the required resources, identify the features. So high-level features, what are the features we have, as I said, right? Identify the risk factor, very, very important. You need to understand what are the things which make you to not accomplish your task in this project. That's something you need to mitigate those risk factors. So identifying the risk and fixing the fix, or you know that the roadblock you might have, you need to foresee that. So, and you see that, okay, what are the risks? Okay, I needed mobile developers, needed testers needed, sorry, not developers, testers needed at the duration after 6 months I may need. So as a project manager, you need to say, sure that then you may need to look for the resources just 2-3 months before and making sure. You cannot make it available in the day one itself. If you make it available, you may be ideal for 6 months, right? It's kind of, we need to see where, how, when appropriately we can fit in, okay? So you cannot make him available from day one. That's also a problem. You unnecessarily spending your money. And you cannot really delay that. After 6 months, if it's going to available, that also means. So during 5th month or end of the 5th month, we should be available. So those are all various risk factor and resources perspective we discussed, and future perspective, and any other risk you identify. Oh, I need that system need to be tested. You are talking to take the example from Amazon. You are dealing with something. Payment system is getting there. Payment system is outside your system. And you say, hey, that payment system need to be available for the testing for this sprint. If it's not available, you cannot test the full phase. Okay. So those are the various 6 factors need to understand. That's very, very important part. And establishing the testing schedule. Okay, so these are just an example of plan test design development. So everything is just a test case, and then how you're going to use the test case. And now this already we discussed that same thing in different formats. And these are the this is the 2 things which I discuss about test plan. Test plan is defined as a document which outlines scope, objective, method, and weight on the software testing task. Overall, it's how the scope, plan, everything need to be discussed. Test strategy is set up. This is guiding principle, as I said, right? It's the best practices with something we do. So those strategy need to be defined. Okay. And test design and regulates how testing need to be done. So it's going to be very, very high level, right? It's a hands-on, right? In the test strategy, you say that for automation, I want to follow some of these tools, some of the process, some of the strategy. It may be high level process, but in test plan, you used a process to give the plan. The test plan is ultimately going to outline the scope, objective, and timeline and resource. Okay, that's something need to be defined. So some of the test strategy will be an input for test plan also on top of the overall objective. So this is a very high level. It's going to be created, and test plan will be derived from that. But everything will be derived. This both documents will be at a project high level scope. It need to be available. Okay, otherwise you cannot have any planning document or anything. You cannot do without that. You cannot really foresee how much this project is going to cost for us. That's why it's very, very important for us. And I gave all information. So as I said, test plan can change. Test plan can narrate about the specification. What is the specification? Requirements or high level objectives. So those are all specifications. So mostly is carried out by test manager. Okay, test lead. So, but I leave it to you guys to go through this one. So it's not whatever I discussed, right, in different formats is try to describe. Does it make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So I going to have some examples too. Okay. Do you guys want any break? No need break.
Give the example, then I think we can get a break.
Yeah, we'll take some break. We'll come back 11:05, and probably we can discuss more on how this documents being structured. I want to show you. I'm going to share everything. Don't take notes or anything. Don't worry. I'm going to share this, and we just go through these documents, how it is being done. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. we'll wait for others to join who are present. So, do you guys, what do you guys feel? Is it something you're getting some insight? Okay. Are you guys available?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can call me Jax. That's okay. Shah, do you have a query? Anything? Okay, you have a problem with the login. Okay. So we will discuss towards the end. Let us see. Okay, so we are talking about various stuff, test strategy and document we talked, and test cases. Okay, so I'll going to play something, but before that, I just want to show you that this documents, how it's being structured, and then we will I'll play some video where it is going to explain. So I just joined late today, so 20 minutes we may need to extend. So if you guys want to know, if you have something, you can watch my video later in your free time. Okay, so shall we start? Is everybody present?
Yes.
Okay, super. So test cases, okay. So test case scenarios, everything will be given here. So let us go through one test case document. Okay, so we will. So there are various formats we have. Okay, don't think that this is the only way we can do. And basically here, in this format give a good information. So we can say that this is a test case ID and test case description. You try to test a high level thing. What is that login functionality you want to test? And of course, created and somebody going to review this. And then you say that as a tester, right? It may be a version 1. So that command and then tester name. And when you want to test the pass or fail, initially you may not have this information. You're just going to be empty because you're just creating a test case. And access to the Chrome browser is a prerequisite. Every test case, right? Whenever you try to do, you might have some prerequisite. Okay, that's something we need to understand. If it's a mobile, then we need to have a prerequisite as a mobile, right? Mobile browser, mobile supported web browser. I'll explain you how we can test mobiles and everything. Okay, but these are the various prerequisites we may have. Okay, the application need to be available. The system has some issues that need to be available. So external dependencies or internal dependencies, anything you think, right, that's need to be available. This is a test data. I was explaining, right? Every test case, we used to have a test data. So the test data is you're going to have a user ID this and password this. So this is a test data we're going to have. And then how are you going to simulate steps to follow to go through this, right? So what we are testing is login functionality. So for the login, what are the steps we need to accomplish, right? Step 1, navigate to this page, enter user ID password and click submit. Okay, so this is the various steps we're going to accomplish. This is the expected one, this is the actual one, and pass or fail. So these two may not be the initial stage, right? You would have not executed. You remember, right, that diagram when I show. So we are here, right? We are writing the test plan, writing the test cases, and then we do the execution. So during the execution only, you're going to fill in all this information, whether right, actual result, and then expected, and pass or fail, either way fail. Okay. So it is a test case too, same thing. What it should be a sequence number. Here we have this one, right? It should be sequence number, and then we have a different case. Same thing, everything need to be there. This is the one test case document. It's very, very important you to understand. So you need not to be in this format. You think that, hey, come on, each and every test case, I need to create a separate sheet. This depends on project level. Oh, we'll create a different format. That's okay. So it's up to you. Okay. So that's why I created multiple samples too. So you could see that this is the other format we have. So test case ID and description and prerequisites, steps, expected, actual result, and pass and fail. So it can be this format also. That's possible. Okay. So, do you guys having any queries on this? This is a day in, day out activity, which as a tester you're going to do. Okay, there is no exceptions. Whoever it is, they need to write this test case. So one story, one requirement might have multiple test case. Okay, don't think that always is going to have a one test case for the one requirement. That's a really a bad practice. And you need to think on positive and negative scenario. If we don't do this, what will happen? Right? So always think about that outer box. So if we don't do this, what will happen? Okay, if we follow steps 1, 2, 3, if we don't follow step 4, what will happen? If we don't follow step 3 and jump to step 4, what will happen? Right. So those are the different scenarios. So each and every test case is one scenario, I would say. Okay, each and every scenario need to be defined. As a tester, you need to think through where is a positive and negative test case. Positive, negative doesn't mean status. Okay, what I mean is following this approach, you are doing something. If I follow this approach, don't enter password, what will happen? If you follow same approach, don't enter username with password, what will happen? Without username or wrong username password or wrong username and password, both I can enter wrong. So those are the various scenarios for one requirement, right? Users able to successfully log in. That's it. But you need to create a multiple test cases for that, right? So test case or test scenario, we can think, put the different terms, but ultimately we should be covering various scenarios. That's called test case. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So you guys can write test case now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sure.
So you understand, right? See, many times we mislead by complex terms and approach. Okay, so that's not a case. Okay, we need to think in simple terms when you try to see that product, right? We are going to Walmart and try to see the product. We go to the specifications, packing, how it is being done, what are the things parameter consists. Same thing. We are doing the same analysis. Same thing here. We take the own application, understand the requirements, and think the various possibilities. That is the positive negative case, right? Various possible scenarios for the requirement. So that will give a good picture. So here there is one thing is missing, which I feel is requirement ID. Okay. So requirement ID also we used to have it here. For which requirement you are writing this test case is very important because that will be give a good information to you, right? It will give the cross matrix. That means you relate. Are we trying to cover the requirement? That is one document which usually we used to have. That is requirements traceability matrix. The term, right? Traceable. So requirements should be traceable in our development and testing. So completed the test, right? So all these three aspects will be covered for each and every requirement. That's where we're talking about requirements traceability matrix. It's very important document we used to create. Okay. Let me go through that one. So you could see that project name, it is at the project level. Okay, it's not going to be at any low level. You could see requirements, description, these are all things will come from requirements itself. Okay, so you don't need to do anything. This is filled by somebody else. This document owned by whole project team. Okay, not only testing team. So as part of the testing team, you're going to update this. Okay, what is test case ID? Okay, and test UAT QA environment production. Is it being tested or not? Yes or no? Normally you used to have. And you could see that okay, defects. For this testing, what defects? It may be one or more, right? For one issue, there could be multiple, for one test case, you might have raised multiple defects also possible. Then you need to replicate that. So don't worry on those things. Okay, it's too much at this level. But understand this, the requirement traceability matrix is going to give that overall information about the requirements, and corresponding development also we used to have. And then testing perspective, you're going to fill in this information. What is the test case ID being created? And it's for the UAT perspective, QA perspective, what are the things you have done? Yes or no? And then whether you accomplished or not, right? At the last you are going to have. So this is given to overall people, overall stakeholders, right? Whether client or whoever it is, we know that, oh, this is the progress overall. So sometime project manager used to fill in, and project manager, that sometime test lead or test project manager, they also do this activity. But as part of the tester, you're going to provide the input. Oh, are we covered for this requirement or not? You're going to give. This is a requirement traceability matrix. Does it make sense to you? And it will create a report. So how many counts and everything. So just read. But this is something we do. So, and then whatever I discussed, right? Let us discuss one test strategy document. So this is one of the test strategy document. So scope, who will review the document, who will approve this document, and test activity carried out with the time. Right? Okay. How much timeline really you're going to do this activity. And testing approach, you're going to say that overall approach. Okay, I'm going to do a process of testing levels, how many testing levels you have, like QA, SAT, UAT environment, that's what the testing level. And roles and responsibility each team member, whenever you see, right? So we have a functional testing, you have a non-functional testing, like performance and load testing, right? Type of testing. So those members we need, and mobile testing, right? So there are various roles of each and every responsible members. And team lead we would have, or team members, performance. If it's a huge team, then we have a performance team lead. So all those things will be covered here. Is overall test approach and type of testing. What are the testing you will have? What is the security testing? Can anybody give some information? What kind of security testing we do?
The side is you're asking about the security testing?
Yeah.
Security, like the site is properly secured, like they're using the HTTPS portal.
Yes, that's one of the testing, exactly. Okay. Vulnerability testing, basically. Okay. Security and vulnerable. How many people probably I'll explain. Denial of service. Okay. Have you ever heard about the term denial of service?
No.
No.
Okay, so you would have gone through some site and the site might be down. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
So sometimes it may be maintenance also they put down, but sometimes what will happen, right? If somebody want you to your server make it down, so what they do, they will create a automated program where they will keep on hit your server. That means you get the millions of requests to go to a login page at just an second's time. Okay. So what will happen? The server will be loaded heavily, right? Server artificially they are loading more requests. So server cannot sustain. So what will happen? You are a normal user and you want to log in, but you cannot log in because already there are multiple requests in queue. So you will be in queue. Your browser keep on try to load the page. So this is a one typical denial of service. Okay, there are many applications, they do this kind of hack. This is a one level of hacking, DDoS we call it as architect, we try to deny that, and we want to see. That's why we have a captcha and everything. Whenever you log into that any login screen nowadays, you see that, oh, select the image, select the board, identify, select the flash, like that it will come, right? You try to reduce this kind of denial of service. That means they try to identify you, whether you are an actual user or machine, like a script is trying to make a request, right? So they're going to differentiate so that they can put the random images in between, and they're making you to select that. So it means machine cannot do that, only human can do. So that's why we have a captcha most of the screen. Now previously it used to be number, they'll show some number in image and we type it. That's why the image number also shown in image, because machine cannot read. But now machine learning can read that image also. Okay. So, but to make it clear, right? So it will reduce the most of the problem. So we are intermediately, we are in the normal screen, right? We are putting captcha in that and then making sure that it is not automated. Some machine try to call my server. It's a some human try to call. So this way we can reduce the traffic, right? So I write some script which I can call this Amazon website for millions time. Take an example, it's trying to load all products and everything. So how many services it will call internally, right? So without anything, just don't think the only login or anything is going to have this problem. Even for loading the page, right? It causes a lot of problem for them. So millions of requests in just 10 seconds, I want to call, then page will get loaded again and again and again. So that also will cause this problem. That is, those are the things which we use to reduce. That is a security testing. There are multiple other things also there, but I don't want you guys to get confused. But basically, these are the various things we do. But testers' perspective, security testing is altogether, it's a different area. Okay, it's not normal testers what you guys learning, right? You cannot do that. Okay, so performance testing, at some extent we can do, but security testing you cannot do. But you need to understand, while developing that website perspective, right? There are various testing we used to perform. Okay, so considering that, you could see that testing approach and automation tool, that's very important. Is anything applicable we need to use? Adding defects and retesting the defects and triage the defects. So we need to submit the report and we need to see why the defects getting open for quite some time. Everything we need to analyze, right? So you cannot keep that defects open for quite some time. If it's open, then that is a major issue. So we need to address that. Why it is getting open? That's triage we need to perform. And test environment, I said, right? QA, test, all this environment need to be defined. Okay, these are all the things in the planning itself. Now you are understanding, right, how this test strategy and planning comes to picture. So before you start your project, you set all goals and availability testing tools. What are the tools you really want to do? Whether you use commercial tool or non-commercial tool, how you're going to define everything will be here. And of course, release control, how you're going to release the code. Okay, the test plans, every scripts, right? How you're going to use, how you're going to perform, everything will be given here. Of course, this is a very, very important, as I said, risk analysis. Right? What is a contingency plan? If you identify the risk, then you need to provide a contingency. You need to mitigate, and overall be there to approve. That also important. So somebody say, oh, come on, I didn't know that I need to approve this document. It must be pending with him for quite some time. So all these communication problems need to be reduced. So everything will be published. You're going to walk through this document with project manager and everyone, so they can understand this. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay, I given multiple strategy document. Just want to give more information. Okay, this is a test plan. Okay, so test plan, I don't want to get in detail. It's a real-time project document. It's not my project. It's some open source project. And this plan, you could see that planning, we're going to take that. So our purpose is test strategy document is input for this. Okay, and execution strategy and test management, how do you do, and project overview we're going to give. Overall audience is very, very important, right? Any document you do, so we need to set the audience. Who is a business analyst, project manager, architects, tech team, development team, stakeholders. So we need to see who is going to be the audience. And here they didn't have any separate test strategy. They put test strategy in this test plan itself. You can have a separate document or inbuilt here. So same thing with the cover, but basically they are setting that strategy, everything here itself. And various, don't go with this all these things. It's a project specific. Understand this. What are the data they're going to contain? High level and test principles. How they're going to meet in the principle and data approach. How they're going to approach the data. How you're going to form the data. Everything they define. And they are talking about functional test and functional testing scope. They have a separate document. So they're going to have a overall picture on how we're going to do this activity. Okay, execution activity and planning activity, everything will be done. So test metrics, right? How you're going to publish the metrics weekly, daily, all this will be there in the test planning. So, and requirements, bug tracking, how you're going to track the bug, what are the tools we use, how it's going to communicate, everything will be defined here. So before I take it further, do you guys having any queries?
No.
Whether you have queries? Why you more silent today? What happened?
I said no.
Do you guys understand everything or you don't understand it?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Good man. So more are theoretical sessions and everything. That's why we're making sure you guys understand this. And the test management process, test design process also is very important. So these are the various high level things. Okay, don't quote me for, oh, second, you have this. These are the various contents, real-time contents. People use this, okay. But high level, you understand that this can be any level, the detail they will go company specific process they can define here. Okay, but what is the purpose of this document? What is the content they're going to have in high level? That's very important. Risk and mitigation factor. As I said, right? This is something they always say that resource also one of the not enough resource. Taking this as an example. They mentioned resource itself one of the problem and how you're going to mitigate. So if defects is a large state, how are you going to do? And defect management in place, that means any tools should be in place. We cannot really maintain through Excel sheet. We cannot really communicate it. So they are saying that they're going to use a defect tool. Okay. And they are giving natural disaster, how you're going to do everything. So these are the various risk factors they have and roles, right? What are the roles we're going to accomplish? Project manager, test lead, business analyst, development lead, testing team, and development team, and tech lead. These are the various roles they are looking for. It may be in anything, but these are the various roles expectation you have. bear in mind, this is not for development or something. Okay, it is for the testing perspective. You have a role expectation. These are the roles we are expecting. We can communicate. So always think in the perspective of testing. Okay, so don't think you are not doing a project management role. For this project, how many people you don't need to. And project management perspective, what are the things you're going to have? This is a test planning from test lead perspective. Ensure the criteria used as input, execution, develop the test plan, guidance. So these are the various things they do. Okay. I don't want to go to a development team, everything, and test environment. What are the environments we're going to have? Details and approvals. Here, there are something missing is a planning also we do. Okay, planning is, wait, oh, it's not open. Actually, test schedule, right? Schedule and planning both will be here. Okay, this document. So that planning schedule means how much duration for that overall testing we are taking, and how many resources we need. So everything with the schedule, right? We can derive the cost. Estimation is nothing but how much duration we need, how many resources we need. Okay, and that will give the cost of that testing perspective. So these are the various things is needed for the project plan. Sorry, project test plan. So this with this mostly we covered. Let me see again. Is there anything? Requirement traceability. Let us go through that. Already we went through that, right? Traceability. And let me go through that work breakdown structure. Just so when you do that estimation, right? So as you know that you were not went through the detailed requirements, right? So then how do we really estimate that? That's something you need to do, right? So what normally we do, like a high level functions, we split into the task, high level task, okay, and then we will go to the package level. Package means subtask, and then we give the estimation. Okay, it depends on our experience. Also really matters. Take an example: website experience and login functionality, or product catalog you are going to test, and we say that okay, product catalog is one. How many catalog you going to create? I may have a 10 catalog. We create 10 subtasks, and then we will provide that for breakdown structure. So this way you can understand that from a high level outline, how we are going to break down to that work, and we can provide the estimation. Okay, so this is an important thing where we do for planning phase. I say the estimation, right? So this resource I needed for 4 months. How do you going to derive? Okay, this function is this much of complex, which I'm going to do this kind of task to accomplish. So for that, this much of estimation hours really needed with this much of resource, right? So duration and hours, that's what. The breakdown structure is going to provide that information. So with this only, we can able to derive that overall planning. So for the planning, this is something, it will give the approximate structure to you, where it may not give clear information. Okay, it means, 4 months exactly. No, you cannot really get it, but we can give approximately how much of workload we have, how much you can break down. That's very important. If without breaking down, I say, hey, product catalog, okay, give 4 months. And what basis we are given, right? That's something. If somebody going to ask you, we need to explain. So this work breakdown structure is going to give you information on that. How we going to derive that, how we going to achieve that. So it's very project specific. So we may need to ask a lot of questions because you are never went through the detailed requirement. It's the initial phase, right? So your cycle itself is not started. Requirements analysis phase itself is not would have not started. But you need to give the planning and everything, right? Otherwise, you cannot start the project. Okay, somebody asked that one. So same thing applied to the development also. Okay, not only testing, development team also we do the same thing, right? So this means we need to break down the work and go to the task level, and then we need to provide the estimation. So timeline and resource. Okay, for the timeline, for 2 weeks, I may need 5 resources. Right, be 4 weeks, I may be using less resource. So we need to see that. We need to understand the dependencies and we need to provide that one. This is what work breakdown structure. Okay, I provide some samples too. So you could see that, right? So tasks from that high level breakdown, and we're going to break down into the task, and then we need to see how much task is going to be completed. Stop date and end date is very, very important to us. This will give information that what is the duration it's going to take. Does it give some idea to you guys how the breakdown structure really works? We need to go to the project and understand and do that. Those are all things next level. If possible, I can provide more information in the coming class. I'll give some running working structure. But do you guys understand this? What is a breakdown structure? How it is being done? Does it give any idea? Krishna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me what you understood.
So here the breakdown structure, we just have to assign the work to the user team, right?
Yeah.
And then we have just started their sprint to separate in the subtasks in the larger to smaller chunk.
Yeah.
And then we just started the end date, start and the end date, and just we make the note in the sprint, in the subtask and in the sprint also.
Lovely. Yes, true. Yes, exactly. Yeah, perfect. So this is what we try to do. Okay. So now you're understanding, right, how this process really is going to work, right? So now just being as a testers, that's it. So you are keep on getting that, okay, I need to do this activity. Okay, these are the activities I need to perform before start of the project itself. Otherwise, you cannot start the project, right? So these are the various dependencies wherever you go, right? So people say, how do you estimate? What strategy we follow? What is the approach we follow, right? So I give this project, then I need you need to start this project. You say, hey, I need to write the test cases, write this, please. Before writing the test case, you need to do a lot of other activity. Okay, that's a mindset. That's the thing we are bringing the awareness. Okay, in the actual project, we do this kind of activities. Okay, writing the test case, execution is the last thing we do. Before that, we need to do a lot of other things, which making sure that, see, think about that. This work, if you do this kind of activities, though the test lead may do that, but as a tester, you also get involved. Okay, you are not a complete responsibility. Test lead is a responsible person to do this, but you may give a task to you. Okay, hey, for this outline work, what are the objectives? What are the tasks you think you can do? So you can going to provide a lot of information. Oh, I need to execute this many of tasks for this to accomplish that. So how much duration we need? So you can ask a lot of questions. So we need to give our input, right, for this document as a tester, that we need to get aware of that. So that's the main aspects I try to bring in here. Okay, so I given work breakdown structure, estimation, everything. Okay, so this is not been covered as part of that coursework or something, but I want to provide that example how we do testing and other things too. Let us see whether anything useful. So, as part of the testing methodology, right, we decide on how much effort and classification. How do you do that estimation from function point? I'll explain you later. Okay, I don't want to get into that. That's itself a big topic. Okay, but we do various strategies, and WBS, work breakdown structure, is one other strategy we do. Okay, and with this only we calculate that estimation effort, and then we use. So here, take an example. Forget about the functional units. Basically, we're going to leverage that. Oh, these are the various external input, external output. That means you are talking to the external system, going to give the input. You're going to talk to external system's output, and any inquiries you're going to do. So these are the various functions you have. Okay, functional requirements, whatever it is, high level. So you're going to categorize. Oh, external inputs are going to have a 3 low item, output 4 low item. So weighing factor is very, very important, because while do that high level estimation, right, you cannot go into very detail, as we know, right? So we need to stand in between, and we need to categorize into buckets. Okay, low, average, high we have. So there could be a very low, low, average, medium, high, very high. So based on the project, right, we define various weighing factor. We put that based on that. Oh, this requirement, this function, it may be this. This function, it may be very high, it may be low. So based on that, we do the estimation. So low means we know that it can be executed within 3 weeks. High means it may be executed in 6 weeks. So we can define, it's a project define that. Okay, it is not a general factor. Oh, all low should be executed within this timeline. No, it's a project manager, everyone we decide. Okay, for this low factor means very low means 2 weeks. Low means it may be 3 weeks. So that will be defined. So based on the definition, we can provide the low, medium, high, everything, and we weigh the factor. So this, from this factor perspective, you understand that, okay, how much estimation we're going to have. So does it give some good idea how we do estimation?
Can you just explain it again, sir?
Sorry, please. What's that?
Can you just explain it again, sir?
Against the requirements. That's our question. Sorry, last thing I couldn't hear. Can you repeat? Who's that? Can you repeat?
She said, can you explain?
Can you just explain it again, sir? I didn't get it,
Oh,
sir.
okay. See, basically, right, here we are having a various functions. Okay, this is a functional units. Don't think about any units or something. Is there's various functions you have. Okay, we are categorizing as a what are the input we're going to get it from external system. Okay, I'm taking this context example, and external output. What are the system which we're going to provide the information to outside our system? Okay, and inquiry, same thing. You're going to map UI, Google Map UI, take it, I'm going to get the map for my address. So you're going to inquire something, and there are various formats, everything we do. These are the various high-level functions, okay, to make it clear. So our objectives we want to accomplish. So based on this, okay, in this example, you could see the low, average, high. So we categorize the weighing factor as low, average, high. What it means, I have a 3 low external unit. That means I have a 3 functions which fall under low. 4 functional, it may fall under average. 6 functional fall under high. So we will define that what is a low means, right? We in the project level, we do that. So low means we need a 2 weeks for one resource. Okay, so one resource may take 2 weeks. That's a low. 4 weeks for one resource is an average, and 7 weeks for one resource for high. So with this we can do the estimation, right? So 3 multiplied by 4 1 week. I'll make a notepad, then it will make. So we say that low, this means 2 weeks going to take for us. High means 7 weeks. So they have average, eh? 4 weeks. So this will be defined. Okay, I'm just giving some number. Okay, so it's based on the project and condition. People, project manager, everybody decide. Okay, all low, it can be done in 2 weeks. All average can be done in 4-7 weeks, and all high can be done in 7 weeks. It means for this one is 3, 4, 6. So 3, 4, 6. So 3 multiplied by 2 weeks. So it's going to take 6 weeks for low. Low function is going to take 6 weeks. Average is going to 3 functions we identified as average. So multiply by 4. That means 4 weeks. So it's going to be 16 weeks. And high is 6 weeks. We're going to take for one function. We're going to take 6 weeks. For 7 functions, is going to take 42 weeks. So just for this function, the various thing we're going to develop, it's going to take us for this many of total weeks. So this way we're going to derive that how much hours we need to complete the one function. At least this is one function. For different scenario, we have identified 3 low, 4 functions and high value function. This is an one objective. Okay, and function perspective, 3 functions we're going to accomplish, 4 average, 6 high. So this way we can calculate the effort. So this is one of the effort calculation we do. Work breakdown structure also same thing we do. Okay, with the work breakdown structure, with the task we're going to accomplish, the task we can categorize as a high, low, medium. High, low, medium, very high, whatever. And we can define the number of tasks. Oh, for this task, it's going to take 2 weeks. For this task, it may take 5 weeks. This task, we need 7 weeks. So we categorize and then estimate. So this is one level of estimation normally we do. So we categorize into bucket, low, medium, high, and then we get the count, how many medium, how many low, how many high, and then we put that number corresponding how much for one low, how much effort, for one average, how much effort, for one high, how much effort really need. Here 7 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks. So based on that, we'll calculate the overall effort. Does it give information? What are you guys really looking for? So don't get more into that, but there are various techniques, but this is a very easiest techniques normally we use. Okay, it's a quickly we identify the total effort, right? So once we identify that how much complex this nothing but complex, right? So 3 functions are low complex, and average complex is 4. And high complex are 6. So based on the complexities, we derive that estimation. This is one of the good estimation factor. There are various things I mentioned. Okay, so how we do that, but I don't want to go, as I said, there are various techniques we have, but there are adapt methods. Each and every project we use different methods to estimate. Okay, don't think that all projects follow the same standard. So it depends on project, team, structure, everything. So, but you understand that there are various ways which we can do estimation. That's it. Okay, don't get into very deep. I'm going to share these documents to you guys. Just have a go through and understand. Let me know in case you have any queries. Okay. don't go with the terms. Function point estimation, it takes something more. Okay, so that's altogether a different estimation. But I want you guys to know that how much the complexities we do, and then we derive the estimation based on that. That's something you guys all need to understand. Okay, you could see that how much effort will be calculated. These are the various things we used to do. So and we covered most of the part here. And let me go through the course content now. So we covered the test plan, strategy, and test case, traceability, defects. Okay, defect report, we didn't went through that. I'll do it towards end. So before we get into the what is requirement traceability, I'll pick some person. Interesting, right? Manraj, am I saying the correctly, or you are having a short name here?
No, that's right. It's Manraj.
Okay, fine. Okay, ma'am. So tell me, what is that requirement traceability? Why do we need? Take your time, no problem. Manraj, we are waiting for you.
Actually, I'm not sure what to say, but according to me, maybe we need to
Your terms, don't worry. This is not it's just a collaboration discussion. So don't worry on that any terms or anything. Whatever you understand, right? Just frame it and then explain that. That's okay. So yeah, we're going to get multiple people. I just want a more interactive what you guys understand, right? So in your terms, don't worry on any terms or anything. Don't worry. Be open.
no, that's not the problem. The thing is, I'm not sure. Can somebody else can tell? Then I can tell.
Oh,
Actually,
okay, you can.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Mandeep, Nitisha. Yeah, Mandeep. Nitisha, Mandeep, please. Requirements traceability. How do we use? What is the purpose? You don't need to raise. You can talk. Why you cannot talk? Yeah, you can. We could not hear you. You are on mute. Nitisha. You are on mute. Yeah.
This should be the cost effective and the requirement of people.
Why do you say that's cost effective?
Because we know how much requirement people want to know and how much cost effective of the test cases. The overall thing side should be the requirement.
Okay, so you think in the perspective of how that recommends being, what is the purpose of this document? cost effective, you said, right? So
Yes.
what are the purpose of this document? Somebody hand over in the requirements documents to you, requirement traceability documents to you. Okay. So what they expect you to know, or what they are trying to communicate.
Communicate with Testcase project. Work, print work, something. Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm telling about the Testcase sprint work like this. They communicate like this. That's it.
Yeah. Is anybody has anything add on to that? Ritvik? Is he right? Is there anything you need to add on top of that? Ritvik?
It's asking about me.
No, I'm just
Okay.
he explained, right? So do you want to add anything on top of that? What is the requirement traceability?
So you just say we can track the requirement through the product development lifecycle, like we just have like the test cases and development, how to design the test cases, and we can just support that planning and test cases, I think.
Okay, it should be other way around, right? In which phase requirement traceability documents comes in, right? Test strategy, test plan, and test case. So test strategy and test plan, we're going to start with, right? And then test case document will come in. So when the test case requirement traceability comes in, after creating the test case, only requirement traceability comes in, right? Because requirement traceability, what is the purpose of the requirement traceability is, you have 10 requirements in this project. Simple, high level requirements or objective, whatever you call it as. Or we covered all these requirements in our test case, right? So we need to show them that, okay, confident level that all the requirements being, I written test cases, I have a full coverage for the requirements. Simply they call it as, what is your coverage? Okay, test coverage, they call it as. Test coverage means you are writing the test cases, and test cases should be covered the requirement. So in and around any test case, right? If 10 requirements are that, you need to have at least minimum 10 test case to cover all the requirements. If it's not covered, then it's a problem. That means some of the requirements you are untested. You are not testing some of the requirements. That will give an indication, right? So that is an important factor from requirement traceability, giving the confidence to customers, stakeholders. Everybody said, hey, I have written the test cases for all the requirements. You didn't miss out any single requirement. That is very, very important thing that you are showing to people. Does it give answer? Manraj, Ritvik, is it?
Do you have any kind of live example if you're working?
Sorry?
Do you have any like kind of live example you are working to develop the software or something, so we can just get it properly?
Okay, 1 minute. Already we covered this. Let us see. So we have a requirements here. Okay, it may be requirements for any cases, right? Business, or you have a case for functional. So what is that WPS task as we identified, right? I want to log in with username is the one task, right? And this is the one of the functional you want to have. You have a test case ID, test case 111. You have, okay, test case description, and this is a test case ID. So if you have this one, it means for this requirement, okay, for this requirement, I have a test case. If we don't have this test case, okay, for login with a username is one of the requirement, and you don't have a test case, what it means? You don't have anything for this. You might have other things, but you don't have for any test case. What it means?
We do not schedule anything.
You are not written the test cases for this scenario at all.
Yes.
So that is a gap. That is, we call it as coverage. Test coverage means your test case should cover all this requirement. That's why this document is so critical. Okay. Now we enable tools. Okay. We are not going to create an Excel sheet and everything. It's not that. Jira tool provides this, but this is the same thing presented in different format. But the term is same. If a requirement traceability means, are we able to trace all the requirements, okay, from testing perspective? Okay, if you're not able to trace your requirement for the testing test cases, then the requirements is not being tested. If you don't have a test case, what it means? The scenario not being tested at all. So that's what is very, very important. We need to have a requirement traceability matrix. So I'll pause some time, okay, and next week morning session, I'm going to ask some more questions on this. So give some scenarios, then we can get in details. So first, understand that this is something we're going to have a test coverage. What are the test case you are written, that should be covered. If we not cover, then it's a problem. That will be identified through this requirement traceability matrix. Is that fine?
Yes.
Understood? So go through once again. So don't you don't need to do everything now, but basically that's the main thing you need to know. Okay. And we will recap something on next week also. Don't worry, I'm not going to push off. So, and defects report. Okay, this is one of the factors normally we used to do. So, whenever you raise that defect, okay, what are the process you have? You have a test strategy, test plan, and then you're going to write the test cases, and then you're going to create a test data, sample data, and then you're going to execute. So now we are in the final stage, execution. So after execution, there are two things may possible. Your test case is pass, your test case is fail. If it is fail, then it's going to be a different context here, right? You're going to create a defect. So you need to raise a defect. You're going to use a Jira, and you're not going to maintain this Excel sheet or something. But in Jira also, is same thing. So we're going to have a impacts. Okay, it is going to have the impact or not. On what basis we're going to set this impact? Okay, so whether user or business impact, both way we can take. Okay, but don't get into that. Basically, same thing we discussed, right, during our work breakdown structures estimation. I was explaining different buckets: low, average, high. Same thing here. We're going to set that defect as critical, high, medium, low. How are you going to categorize? Okay, that's something we'll come to. When you have a defect, it is just an alignment issue. Some color is menu color is not changed, or text field it's not aligned, or text is not aligned, text is not colored. It's not a big showstopper to you, right? You can access the application, but that is a defect. That's a small defect. So we can put those things as a low. If it's a medium defect, you categorize, okay, this is something I have a problem, so I need to they need to address this. So you put the criticality of the defect. That is called medium. And high one, oh, this is a major issue. I cannot click the button. We cannot do this. Then it's going to be a high defect. And critical defect, you cannot proceed. The page itself is not loading. That put it as a high critical issue. So these are the various factors we categorize. So estimation also, we requirements we categorize estimation. For same thing, while raising the defect also, right? It is not, you should intimating that development team that what is a critical, what is the focus they need to do, prioritize that work, right? So some defects are so prioritized so that they need to fix it immediately. Otherwise, they cannot proceed further, right? So that's the case, we need to complete it at any cost, right? They need to fix, give the high attention to those bugs. If it's a not critical one, they can fix it, but not immediately. They can take it later. That's where this criticality of the bugs is very important. It is going to set by you. While you creating a defect, you need to show them that, hey, I have this problem and you need to fix this. Okay, so that's where we're going to set the criticality. And what are the things you're going to contain if you're going to raise a defect, right? So defect ID and when you detected, and these are all not needed, and status, whether it's a new, open, reopen, because many times, right? You first time when you raise a defect, it might be new, but they fix this issue again. It's coming back to you, and you say that, hey, come on, still it's not fixed. Okay, because the development team say, hey, I fixed, but you see that issue is not fixed. Okay, then you're going to reopen the defect again. So in that way, we're going to make sure that we set the right status. Okay, as Jira, they already have this process, but whenever you're raising the defect or rechecking the defect, you need to set the status. So that's what the status means here. Okay, hi. And then what is the subject? The subject means what is the title of this one, and defect description. Okay, many times development team never agreed to you, right? They said, hey, it's working in my machine, kind of. So you need to give the clear indication, clear information, how they're going to recreate this defect in that box, right? That's important. And then provide a lot of snapshots, that mean screen mapper, or you can use any tool. We're going to explain that. So take the screenshot of that one and explain that where you are getting this issue. That's very important. So they're going to communicate back to them, okay, with details, so that they get to know that, okay, how they simulate the same problem so that they can fix it. And environment, we have a lot of environments in place, okay, in the software. The QA testing, QA integration environment, and performance environment. There are a lot of environments they have. Which environment is causing trouble? Okay, so as part of the testing, as I said, integration environment and system testing environment. So which environment is causing this trouble also, we're going to define. And then these are all additional things which you really want to do, but basically this is a factors are very, very important. It's going to have ID, date, status, and subject, and defect description. It's very, very important. And then with any screenshot or something, and environment. So once you do that, then it will be assigned to testing development team. And then once they do that, again, it will come back to you. Once they fix it, right? Again, will come back to you. Oh, I fix this issue. Can you retest? Again, you're going to test and close this loop. So same way for each and every defects which is going to rise. So every defect is going to have this criticality. Okay. So I didn't discuss about a business criticality. Okay. Or whatever you are giving is a user impact. Okay. As part of the user only you are testing, right? You don't really put something for business. As part of the user, you go to the application and see that, hey, this is a major showstopper for me, put high. It's not a major showstopper, but it need to be fixed. You put medium or something. And it's something very low. It's not causing any showstoppers, but it need to be fixed. Then that should be low. Okay. But business impact is something is set by the business people. Okay. That also will be counted. What it means? From user impact, it may be less. Menu is not displaying properly. Okay, that may be a less impact for you. But as part of the business, the brand, they think that, hey, this should be shown properly. Okay, that's what the business demand. That may be a high business impact for them. That means high, it may be high impact for them. One, they might be setting. But for you, it may be less impact, because it's not going to impact. So while fixing the issue, development team need to see this impact also. Business impact is very important. You could see that not always is going to be from user, it may be medium. For business impact might be low. So there is various ways might have, because the reason is from user perspective, whatever you are putting is this one. It may be high, low. But business impact might be different, right? So for the requirements, they think that this is a high level impact. So we need to change. So this defects also from business level, it will derive. Okay, for this business requirement, this may be high impact. So development team consider this factor also. So whatever factor is this one is derived from you, and then this factor is derived from the business. So those things will be concluded. If yours is low, but there is critical, then they'll give more impact to this one, because this has a more impact. Then we need to consider that also as part of the development team concern. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So raising the defect, this is the most important thing, and this is the most important thing. Give the proper description, proper terms, inform them clearly. If you could not do something, then put the screenshots, supporting documents, make sure development team understand this. And later, because testing is a main thing, right? The testing will go with the multiple teams, right? You may have 50 team members. This bug would have raised by you, but it may not come back to you for that fix. After fixing, development team fixing it, right? It may not come back to you, right? It may be going to some other team members also, testing team members. So giving the proper description, supporting screenshots and everything will be useful. Otherwise, again, he will come and ask you all questions to you, right? Hey, how did you raise? How did you think about example, you are working from different time zone, right? So you may lose one day on this issue, because you may need to wait for the day to come back to you and ask questions. So document those things is very, very important. Somebody reading this document, it should be self-explanatory and putting all supporting documents, everything. Okay, so that it will give more information whoever reading through it. So that's where this is a more critical. Why I'm emphasizing, right? People always misleaded with this. Okay, put some description, whatever the term they understood, they just want to put it. It may not work out well. So that's the main aspects in doing the defect management. Okay, so this gives some high-level defect management and resources also, but I don't know whether I used any templates here. So, but I'll share this one to you guys. So just understand that how it can be used. it's not necessary. I'm going to attach everything to you guys. Okay, so that's most of the things we covered here. Okay, these are the things. It's really a base setting for you, and some of the things which you guys always remember this continuous test deliverable. So if you take a Scrum model, right, it's going to be continuous one. So you cannot each and every sprint you have some items to test and deliver it back, and then it will going to be a cycle, iterative, and keep it short and simple. All descriptions, whatever you do, it should be crispy, short and simple always. Okay, and these are all things. Okay, and we discussed this one, right? In the Scrum model, where you see that where we discussed that the improvement items. Do you remember? Anybody? Krishna, do you remember?
No, sir, I didn't remember it.
In Agile model or sprint, where do we see that, where we discuss about that improvements?
Sprint plan for meeting, the team meeting.
What is that? Planning meeting?
Yeah. The meeting, yeah. The sprint plan meeting.
Planning meeting?
Yeah.
Anything?
After the product launch.
Ah, yeah. That's not a planning meeting, right? After product, it's not a planning meeting, right? Planning will do before that. So, but there is a one phase. Not remembering. I just want to show you so that you don't. Where do you do that? Do you remember now?
So it's a sprint retrospective.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So each and every sprint, we're going to retrospect that, right? So if it's a 4 weeks or 6 weeks, then you're going to retrospect. We do the improvements. Okay. So that's a very important thing. So because nothing is really formalized, right? So each and every team, we have a different gauges to measure, and we keep on improve. So as an individual, they try to collide, and then we work on the sprints, and always we go for some improvement, our experience and our problem. So each project's problem may differ. So those things only we're going to discuss, and we're going to improve that. So there is no general guideline. Do everything and then your result will be more. Cannot be done, right? So we need to have some project specific improvements if needed. This we already discussed. So estimation and various techniques. Okay, so we need to do that. And risk management already we discussed. Well, we need to understand whenever you do what are the things risk we need to identify, how we're going to mitigate the risk, right? So what are the impacts on the risk? In case that risk is not being addressed, what would be the impact, right? So that are all being addressed in the project test plan itself. So we need to understand that. And change control management. So whenever any changes, right? So that need to be communicated to everyone. That's very, very important. Always we skip that part. Okay, so that's something always we used to communicate to people. So we always ignore that part, right? So with the Jira tools and everything, right? Everything will be published. So most of the things we in Agile model we use tools, and the tool will take care of most of the activities. Okay, so whenever you want to publish to a leader, then just in Jira itself you can publish, it will trigger email, alert, and everything. So basically, you may need to make sure we communicate effect to the team. It means always communicate your results and document it properly and have one language to communicate. You don't work on or want to do something. If you work as a tester, right? If you follow some standard practices in the group level, we need to follow the same practice. We cannot have our own thing to do this. So first, understand what is the communication protocol, how do we communicate, if you're having any team meeting. So every meeting has some purpose, right? So we need to align to the purpose and we need to communicate, not to work on our own. So this is what pretty much on today's topic. And test report also we discussed this, and it's going to give high level scope and variance. This is just an output of report. So main thing which what we discussed today is script writing and requirement traceability, and then going to test cases. Script writing is an automated script writing. Okay, how you going to write the script and how you going to do that activity. Something and during the automation, right? We're going to see that activity, but now it will be overrun for us. So you may not understand. But basically, these three are very, very important. So any queries before we wind off? Any queries? Not to this related topic, anything you guys want to say something, please. So let us go through this what document coursework we're going to produce. I don't think any coursework here. Okay. And let me play this video quickly. It's a test case documentation perspective. Okay, whatever I explained mostly will be that. So you guys can listen to this.
Tell me the challenge. Your system testing, some call it alpha
Okay.
testing,
So
but it's essentially the
whatever I explained, right? They will give some high level information. Okay.
Let's try it. Clean
So-
page. Okay. So my EQ tells me my username and password at the same time, right? So maybe I only have 6 test cases that I can test.
Wait, I'll try to play that again.
And tell me what technique that you use as well. So let's read the requirements. It says the login page requires a username or an email and a password. The trick is here. It requires a username or an email and a password. So in my mind, I have 3 inputs. I don't have 2 inputs. And my inputs is my username, that's one input. And my second input is email. And my third input is my password. Some of you might think you have 2 inputs, right? You might think you only have username or email and password, but really you have 3. Now, if I have 3 inputs, I know that each input has 2 states. One state is I provide the email. Another state is I don't provide it. So that's true or false. And they didn't really tell us which is mandatory. The requirement did not tell me which is mandatory. So I have to assume that all of them are optional, right? Because it didn't tell me anything else. So now I know right away that I will use my decision table to find every unique combination. If I have 3 inputs, then that means I have 8 test cases. because that 2 to the power of 3 is 2 by 2 by 2. And 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 is 8. So what this tells me is I have to count till 8 in binary. And I showed you guys in class how to count in binary. So let me just open up my Excel. We're going to count quickly till 8 in binary. So the first thing I'll do is 0, 0. Then I'll do 0, 1. Can you please go on mute if you're not talking? Thank you. 1, 1. So please go on mute. We can hear mommy, daddy. Thank you. Okay. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So now that's 4. To count to 8 in binary, let me copy. So I'm going to copy this too. I'll move it back a little bit just to have some space here. So I told you guys, you just copy what you have from the top and you paste it down to the bottom. And where you're coming from, you put zeros. And where you're going to, you put ones. Okay, so now I have unique combinations for every input. So what I can do is I can insert a new line here, so I can write my input at the top. So this could be my email, this could be my username, and this could be my password. And I told you guys in class that you can decide on what a 0 means. 0 email means no email provided. 1 email could be email provided. Same thing for username. I can say my 0 username is no username, while my 1 username is username provided. And lastly, for password, same thing. The 0 password means no password is being provided, and 1 means password is provided. Now we can model it. So I can say maybe result, what will happen. So the first test case will be if a user doesn't provide no email, no username, and no password, what will happen when they try to sign in or sign up? If a user provides no email, provides no username, or provides a password, what would happen when they try to sign in? And you keep going and keep going. Now, some of them might not be possible. Like this, for example. I can't really, enter an email and a username at the same time. So, this might be maybe not applicable, right? And the last one as well might not be applicable because I can't really provide my email, my username, and password at the same time, right? So maybe I only have 6 test cases that I can test. So that's it. That's the way how we do it. But please, know that there's no only one way of looking at a problem. We all have different ways of looking at it. So we might have different tests. But
So are you guys getting it right? So how do we do that from username and password perspective? I explained that various scenarios, right? So those things need to be come out. Like we need to see that what is the various possible and negative cases and come up with the scenarios. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So some of initially you guys had this doubt, right? Let me play this portion. Okay, then we can wind off.
Canada, and you're making less or equal to $20,000, sorry, you don't qualify for a loan. If you make it anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000, then we'll give you a 5% mortgage rate. If you make it anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000, then you get 3%. And lastly, if you're making way above income is 80 to 100K, then you get 1%. And if you're non-resident as well, then we decline you. Okay. So how will I do this? Once you start seeing numbers like this, right away you know that there are boundaries. Right away you know that you have groups. So I will use my EQ and my BVA first. So if I was to take, maybe go back to my Excel spreadsheet. Let's try a clean page. Okay. So my EQ tells me to take one from each group. So maybe my first test is what mortgage will you give to somebody that has maybe $10,000 income, right? The next one I'll take from this group. So between 20 and 60, maybe I can take 40. So my test 2 could be, what mortgage will you give me if my income was 40,000? And my next one is, let's say I'll take 70,000. So test 3 would be, what mortgage will I get if I'm making 70,000? And I'll keep going. So I'll take another one from here, test 4. And in my test 4, I would say, if I'm making, say, how much was test 4? Say, okay, 90,000. Less than or equal. Yep. Okay. Now I can also take non-resident. So I'll put that in there as well to say test 5. Say maybe an amount. It doesn't really matter. I mean, once you're non-resident, it just declines you. But I can say maybe $90,000 and non-resident. All right. So now the next thing is to do my BVA. So my BVAs, I can see it right away. $20,000. So I would take maybe $19,000, and I would take $21,000. BVA for here, I would take $59,000. I would take 60, and I would take 61. Same thing here. I would take 79. I would take 80, and I would take 81. Over here as well, I would take 99. I would take 100, and I might take 101,000. Okay, so that will give me way more tests to write out. So it goes on like that. So 19K, 20K, and 1K. Okay, so 9K, 40K, and 41K, and it keeps going and going and going. So that's how I would approach it. Okay. So list out your test cases. All right.
So you guys understood, right, how we can write these test cases, how we can make the decision table. Any doubt? Any queries?
No.
Who raised this question? Ritvik, right?
It's not me.
Right, Ritvik?
No, it's not me.
No, it's me. I did it. Now I get it.
Okay. So this is a pretty much we covered, and I'll send out all the documents what we have. It's just templates and everything. Okay. So whenever you want to write the test cases, right, use one of the document what I shared. It may be easier for you guys to follow the structure. Okay. Any queries? Just send me the email. Probably I can answer through email. Any immediate coursework, something you wanted to accomplish, right? I can do it that way. Would it make sense? So are you getting something from this class?
Yes.
So any queries, I guess you guys need to open up. Don't worry on the terms or anything. Just open up on your questions so I can explain you. So make it more interactive. So because it's so I don't want to be just getting off what I want and do that. It may not make sense. And if you raise question, I can explain more on that too. So I expect you guys to be more open and ask question and more collaborative, because coming sessions, it will be more interactive sessions like Jira, right? I don't explain with my screen and getting off, and probably I'll ask you guys to work on, you create a defect and other to close it like a more interactive. Then I do everything on my screen. I don't want to do that way. So just make sure you guys get access to the Jira in case needed, and conveniently you can share your screens and everything. Coding also mostly I do. I send the code and then you guys execute, and then I'll monitor that. It is time consuming, I know, but really worth doing that, because most people testers they explain a lot, but while writing the code and anything, right, they always hesitate to write. So that initial I want to break the ice. So I want to you guys to do on your own and comfortably understand that, okay, we are I'm giving very simple things, what you real time what we do. Okay, that's important. I don't want to give a huge gap between this and real time. So I'm giving the very small set of things which we do in the real time project so that you can get convinced. So don't hesitate to ask question, and be open and be ready to share your screen. Okay, that's something. So always I expect you guys to work on. And initially, I know that you guys are all from different background, so working on some of the things might be complex. Environment setting, everything became complex, I know. So all these factors being considered. So, oh, I didn't set up the environment. Okay, let me listen to the class and then we set up it later. It won't work out. You never set up the environment. You never get to that comfort level. Okay, the class will continue on top of that. So always align to me and be with me. Any question, stop me over. Don't worry. At any point, stop me, and then I can explain you, and then we'll take it further. Because your problem might be problem to others, somebody may not asking answer. So I always think that it's not one person not understanding, whole team may not understand the concept. I can explain more, that will give more information. So don't worry, I'll be here. So I'll give whatever the information I have, but everybody need to get your hands dirty, work on, and then want to give some level of confidence. Okay, not just theoretically going through something, it may not work out. So practically, so okay. So I want to make sure you guys all collaborative, more interactive, and that would be a better thing to do in these classes. Make sense to everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
So coursework, please, those who are not completed, complete it. If you don't have access or something, LMS, whatever the tool which I shown, right? You guys need to get access, and that's need to be done. Okay, this is at LMS where you get that all coursework. If you are not done, please go and complete and get it things done. And send me the email, copy me, whatever the emails you want to have queries, so that I know that somebody has issue, I'll ask basic QA to fix that one. So, and Viji is a person, any questions, anything you raise it, she can direct to that appropriate person too. Okay. So I'll send you the complete notes later. So,
Sure.
Okay, good guys. So probably next week I'll be there. So next, let me see, because I'm traveling to US and my times are limited, but still I'll see. It's not confirmed. So as always, I'll get a last minute confirmation. But next week we'll have a class, so for sure. So don't miss the class, please. I know that you guys have other things to do, but be there. Okay, so that you can, this 3 hours will give more idea, more information. Though I'm playing some video, I'll give more information on top of that. And that will be a good idea for you guys to part of it. So don't miss the class, be part of it. and then I'll try to complete everything 3.5 hours. So bear for the time. It will be very useful for you guys. Okay. From that note, shall we sign off? Anything else to discuss?
Hi, I have one question. I already submit my coursework. Theory part, I think, is all right, according to me. But the thing where we are testing, after watching this video, I have a question. Can I do it again? Because the way I did is the whatever shows in this video is different. I
Okay.
did the same way, but I didn't do the sheet type the way he
Yeah, please do
taught us.
that. Do that. It's
Yeah.
not an exam. Okay. You can submit it multiple times.
Because the last video I didn't saw, but with this I did the same way what he is doing, but it's like little not fully elaborated way.
That's fine. Yeah, that's what really needed, Android. So we need to keep on improving ourselves, right? Initially, we go with the draft version, we go. So no issues. You resubmit that, and my thing is, you guys need to be comfortable. Okay, what you do. Okay, if you're not comfortable, please stop over. Okay, don't allow me to go further. Even I do the same thing. Even it's any VP meeting, anything doesn't matter. Okay. If I have a question, I'll stop over. Okay. So very rarely I used to be shut my mouth and then try to listen. If it's a very big meeting, I used to do. But otherwise, any questions, basic, it may not be a interruption, right? This kind of discussions is for not to interrupting others. Okay. So just we are very basic and you are in different field and switching. I understand everything. I also have the same expectation. So don't worry on anything. So I see that people try to worry on something, not to ask question and be hide, and then they'll send emails, and that's fine. Okay. But email and response, it will delay the process, right? How much I can explain. So this call is just meant for that. First 30 minutes is for discussion. Okay. So, and last 10-15 minutes also I'll put a discussion. No problem. Okay. We need to have a discussion. In between class also you can stop. Okay. The topic wise, even if we extend it to some more classes, some more session, I don't bother. Okay. Whether whatever it is. Okay. But I want to make sure you guys have good confidence. You are doing the co-op, you should understand, oh, I know this. Okay, I can do this. Okay. How do we do? Am I doing the right approach? Am I missing something? Everything matters. Doesn't matter at all. Because in the project level, I have seen a lot of things. People may miss out something, do something, all correctable. The high level project system is correctable. This is nothing, right? That's what I say. Do the submission, be confident doing that. Okay, any queries, ask me, I'll guide you so that you will get more confident. So do the mistake. Okay, environment setup, you do the mistakes, no, don't worry, and then you can try out. So if you don't try, then you're not going to try at all. Okay, so I know that the past session also, some people never tried at all. It's a problem that they always hesitant to bring out from blockage. So don't do that. Okay. Be open. I'm more friendly nature where whatever the information I can give whatever you want. And any link I want, you guys having queries, email also, I'll respond to that proper documentation so that at least it's not part of my whole work. I need to respond to the email, but I used to respond to all emails too. I want to make sure you guys on the right track. Okay. It's a career change. I understand the seriousness also, right? It's not something I can ignore. So giving all the factors, I guess this batch, I guess you guys are doing good and asking questions and ask me to repeat something. I always like to do that because sometimes some people not getting it. Let me repeat, no problem for me. Okay, give it in the different terms, right? Sometimes we missed out something and then we cannot follow. That's fine. Don't leave it out. Okay, so even if something interruption, upfront I'll say that I'll explain later stage. So, but it doesn't mean that you need to keep quiet. Okay, so be open. Let us do it. Okay.
Hi, Jax. I have one more question regarding the co-op. So I don't know how to do co-op and we're going to conduct the co-op. Can you just describe it?
Folks, it's going to be towards after this whole session, week 12, right? Week 13.
Yes, I know. After the entire course, we're just going to go co-op, right?
Yeah.
So who's going to conduct that co-op and how to do?
You don't worry. You get everything. Okay. So
Okay.
this is a preparation for your project. Okay. I don't, that is a real-time project supports. There are separate teams are available. They will give the project, they will give everything. And based on that, what are the sessions I take, right? And approach, you're going to do the co-op work. You are not only one going to do. It's like a project. There are 5-6 people available.
Yes.
You need to coordinate, support. It's real-time project. Okay, that's something I like BCQA, not in the commercial terms, but I like that approach. And I have seen, I've been associated with the BCQA for last I'd say last year. Okay, so basically I never do this kind of training inside. I got into a lot of projects, so I never do that. But now I'm getting some time and I want to share knowledge too. So that's one of the main aspects. So while considering this, right, when I see the BCQA, really they placed in good place. Okay, I don't know whether I repeated the same thing last meeting, but very good output. So I would say that please be confident. I'm very sure things will change. Okay, co-ops also put the seriousness. I know you guys are doing other work, other things, everything is considered, but this is, you're doing it for yourself. Okay, so you're not doing for your kids, you're not doing for others, you're just doing it for yourself. You step up and you came to this stage. It's really appreciable. I know that how complex it is being in other things and being housewife and doing other work. I know that last meet classes, a lot of couple of nurses joined. Okay, I know how difficult it is, right? So timing everything, but they joined. They did very well. Actually, a couple of people they did very well. So time is not something we can blame. Okay, we ourselves need to blame. I know it's difficult. Okay, but I'm also having the same problem. Okay, I'm getting to a lot of projects, other things, but still I'm adapting myself to do something better. Okay, so everybody has the same problem. Okay, not only you think in that way. So, and we can manage. Okay, so only thing is attitude that makes a big difference. Whenever I interview people, whether I interview a 5 years guy or 20 years guy, always technology is something we can cover up. 20 years guy need to know the technology process and everything. That's a different story. But basically, for 5 years guy also, I always gauge with attitude. That is very, very important. If you have a good attitude, good basic understanding, you can cover up on any technology, anything. Okay. If you don't have a good attitude, better problem solving skill, like I give a difficult problem and I see that whether he can solve it or not, I don't bother. How you attempting it, that's really matters. Okay, I know some of the things they cannot solve it, but still I love to see that how they try to attempt this problem, how they approach. That's very important. Okay, when I do the design, people, some architects come and give the comments here, right? Everything can be commentable. Nothing is right or wrong. What is the best thing we can do? That's what we try to do. Okay, I also do a lot of comments. So the point here is be positive mindset. Okay, this year, please be there. Okay, positive mindset and you can break. But you need to be, come with me and I'll guide you and you can take it to further. Okay, so without your willingness, attitude is very difficult. Okay, I don't like that habit of pushing people. Even my kid, I never push it. If they don't understand, I need to educate them why it is important, rather than without giving any information, just pushing them doesn't make sense. It may not create anything. So be aware of that. I know you are all experienced in your own way and you know everything, but somebody try to recollect everything, it will refresh your mind. Okay, always I believe in that. So this is a good thing what you guys are trying. Even if you fail, doesn't matter, and at least you tried, right? So, and something, it can change. next year, probably there will be more openings will be available. Okay, this year might be less, at least until June, July. But after that, or next year, you will get. So till you get your co-op and everything, right, you will get more opportunity, I feel. Okay, that's an industrial forecast, people seeing that. So anything will go further down, it may go further up. In software industry normally like that one. Okay, this is a normal way. Last year, there are a lot of recruitment, lot of changes has happened. Recession rate is very high. Okay, so now it is being settled. So it may be up in next year. So when you complete the co-op, really it's going to be useful. So think in that way and be positive. Don't think that, oh, industry is down, everything's down. It may go up. Okay. So it's a normal. In my 20 years, we happen to see for this kind of thing for more than 3 times, I guess. 3, 4, yeah, 3 times. So you prepared well, you just put yourself in the better position, things will fall in. Okay. So don't think that with this current scenario, oh, it is not useful, I'm going to drop. Don't think that way. Learning is always helpful. And this area is, there are a lot of improvements is really needed. They need people to do that. Okay. So this is a good starting point for you guys. Okay. And I can assist you, whatever the technology, okay, for the matter. Okay. So I can assist you with simple terms. I don't want to put any jazzy things and everything. It may not be understandable. I make it very simple and for you guys to give confidence. Once you gain confidence, you prove yourself, right? It will be easier for you to gauge the next level, easier. Okay. So having this much level and getting to that is very difficult for you all. I know that. So that's why I'm keeps insisting, just work on it and try to do that. I'm very sure you will do better job. Okay. More advice. Sorry for that.
Thank you.
I know. My daughter always says, Daddy, please stop. He's going to college now, probably this year. So I just want to give more confidence to people. Okay, basically, I know it's a new area for you all. So I'm being this field. I know that plus and minus. Okay, people doesn't know the plus point. Okay, if they cross some area, it will be easier. Okay, and they don't know that, and without that, they are dropping. I feel very bad for them. They should have done better job, and they didn't understand that. Going to the Java program, everything. Last time also people get, oh, Jagan, I need to understand complete Java. This concept is so complex. I know it's a different field, right? But still, we don't need to know everything. Okay, you are not a developer. Okay, you are a tester. That's mindset we need to do. But course covers multiple things which you guys need to know. Okay, it doesn't mean you need to practice everything. So I'll guide you. That's what I say. Ask question. Don't worry. I'll give you a better answer. Even if you don't give a better answer, I'll reserve it for the next session. I'll provide it. Okay. Mostly, I try to make you all comfortable, not to just make it more worry about that. Oh, how do we do that? That how I will solve. Okay. But be prepared to sit and listen and engage. Okay. Not to just get to listen alone. Engage. That's very important. Sorry for the long talk. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Okay.
See you.
See you all. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, see you all. Bye.